introduce yourselves.
Hello, I'm Makmende from the collective known as Mr. Makmende.
And I'm Daniel.
And I'm Jim.
And these are the three members of Just a Band, which is a collective of artists from Kenya.
Yeah.
Did you all met at university?
Yeah.
Well, I met him in high school.
The two of us were in high school.
Okay.
And then we
Okay.
met again
In university.
Okay.
Then that's where I came in uni.
How did your first single, Inyinyo Pini, become an underground hit?
We labeled a video for a really long time, so that by the time we were putting it out, we had something that was actually animated, because at the time we didn't have video cameras, so we couldn't make that kind of video for ourselves. I think we started figuring it out as we were going, but we animated the video, and it got on, because it couldn't really get on local TV because the sound and the visuals were a little bit too jarring apparently, so the programmers said that it couldn't fit with what they had already. So instead of ending up on music shows, it would end up on art shows. So to build more of a music audience, we put it online on YouTube, and that's where people kind of started spreading it to their friends and everything. Yeah.
And how many people viewed it online?
I think we were impressed by 900 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, how
At the time it was like 900 people.
Oh my God.
Did it eventually go mainstream? Did it eventually come out of this?
Have people ever?
I don't think
I
that
don't think
song has
anybody's
ever
ever seen
been
it. Like the
mainstream. It used to play a lot on art shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not. It's the song that made people be like, those are those weird.
strange people.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I think the second, Hey is the one which actually went on like the second song
Yeah.
that we did, which had puppets in addition to the animation. That's the one that actually ended up on local mainstream TV. Yeah.
Okay. And if you were anywhere else, you would be talking about subcultures, because it would be, there would be kind of weird people out there with you.
Yeah.
Are there subcultures in Kenya?
There are, because we've existed like for a couple of years. I feel like there's a group of people who understand kind of what we're doing. I don't know if it's in the grand scale as it would be in like more developed countries.
Or just bigger places.
Yeah, but I feel like there are subcultures. There's a lot of rock people who only listen to rock music,
Yeah.
or only listen to, or fit in
Different ways.
Yeah.
And that's not associated with club culture, because in the UK things like drum and bass and all that would be associated with club culture.
I don't know if they're like strongly defined subcultures,
Subcultures.
like,
No.
but the rock one I think is one that stands out because it's a very particular kind of rock that they listen to.
And what sort of rock is that?
It's like gothic screamo type stuff. Because they even have like goth shops.
Yeah.
You can get all the paraphernalia,
Yeah,
like the stickers and the like spiky things.
But I don't see Kenyan goths.
You haven't seen them?
No, I haven't seen them.
But
Are you serious?
I think they only come out on in the
Actually,
rock.
at night, yeah.
In the rock.
no, but they're there like for real, like spiky hair and all that stuff.
But does that count as a subculture? Is it more like
It's people defining themselves by how they dress and what they listen to. I guess. I mean, that would be how I describe it.
yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goth in Kenya would have to be a subculture,
Yes.
wouldn't it? It
Yeah.
would have to be pretty specific.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, how did you get into animation for the video for that first single and the puppetry for Hey?
Well,
Actually, you're to blame for a lot of this.
Random.
I was like, so I draw, and I had always wanted to get into things like animation and comic books and all that kind of stuff. So during, like, I did this really short course in between high school and university, which it didn't actually teach us enough to actually go out and make something, but it just kind of gave me that blustering, prideful swagger to say
youthful
that,
confidence.
Yeah, exactly. To say that let's animate this video, you know. And then now that was actually now my student film project in a way, because I hadn't really done anything before that.
Wow.
So so I think that's why it took so long. And then also there was just also the fact that we didn't have cameras and all that kind of stuff, that we got those as we went along. So, and then that's why we thought that it would be a cool thing for the next video, instead of fully animating it and doing all that again, we'd use animation, yes, but let's also incorporate it with live action. So let's do this puppet thing.
And all the records and animation and all of that is done here in the house, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you have control over every part of the process.
Yeah, the design
We'd
work.
like to believe.
Yeah, the design work and the photography and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have a recording studio here, and you've got all the camera.
Yes, sir.
That's the one we warned you about.
BD has just come and joined us, and so my next question was, what was music and art, the music, art and images that influenced your first album, Scratch to Reveal?
Anime, like Japanese animation.
Music.
Any
So
idea?
fairly Catholic sort of,
What?
fairly kind of wide.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nerds and the Neptunes.
Radiohead.
Yeah.
Visual, like Outcast, like a little bit.
Yeah.
Science fiction, just as a general concept, was running through everything. The music, the visuals.
And did that come out of when you were a kid, or did that come out of science fiction through the Japanese animation?
Oh, ever since, I think all, well, I know me and him, did you used to check out science fiction when you were younger?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I think we used to be all up on the science fiction and fantasy type stuff for a very long time. No, I'm not saying.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that you guys.
You only
I was playing.
only read sensible books.
I was playing with other children.
Leading a normal life.
A normal youth. Yes.
So why was that first album, why was it so different from everything around it at the time, do you think?
Maybe I can answer that from a listening point of perspective, because at the time I wasn't in the band yet. But kind of what was happening at the time, Kenyan music had its sound. It had just kind of discovered, Kenyan pop music had kind of discovered this sound. So everything was starting to sound
Like that?
like it was in a formula.
Yeah.
And then came these weird guys who, because Kenyan audiences were still very eclectic in the stuff
Yeah.
they listened to. So you'd have Daft Punk's fans, Jamiroquai fans, and everything. And then these guys came along and kind of played that kind of music.
Yes.
So that was just something that was not happening in the Kenyan
Scene at the
context.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kenya had just kind of grown. There was like this new breed of musicians who came and gave Kenya its own sound.
Yeah.
And then while that was happening, came these other guys who went this way instead of
That way.
that way.
Yeah. Okay, and
Check the bill. The receipt. Give me a receipt.
and how did you get the US record deal with Aquaba Music? How did that come about?
After the first album came out, we built up enough interest that there was a local label called Kenyan, which was interested in working with us to distribute the second album.
Makmende.
Yes, by the way, yeah.
Yeah.
So we signed that distribution deal, and as part of that, they wanted to break into other markets, and so they got in touch with Aquaba.
We met him at Womax.
Yeah, at Womax.
Right.
Yeah, and yeah, pretty much that's the way it happened. Yeah.
Okay. And the single from '82, Ha Hey, went viral with the Makmende video. Explain for those who might not have seen it yet who Makmende is.
No, like really.
Like-
Ever since that video came out, we've had to answer that question, and it's like for us, when we make videos, we just have silly ideas.
Yeah.
So for us, when we made that video, he was just another character
To play with.
But then it turned out that he was a lot more.
Okay.
Yeah.
He meant a lot more.
He was not. He was just not.
He was given value.
Just by the name, I think, because Makmende as a concept was just a vague thing which you could pin anything onto, and then we kind of give him a face and whatever, which made all those abstract concepts much more concrete.
And I guess for those who don't know, the concept was kind of like Chuck Norris-esque.
Yeah.
Rambo. Commando. Actually, yeah,
Yeah,
it was more like, you know,
Chuck Norris, Commando,
yeah, a mix around that
Rambo.
with blaxploitation influence.
Yeah, back into Shaft and
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
No, that's where we took it.
Yeah.
The original Playground version was just kind of that Rambo, unstoppable beast kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
When you jumped off a roof,
And Van Damme.
I guess
people
Yeah.
would say you're feeling a
It's the
Makmende.
80s
Yeah.
movies. Like
Yeah.
that's, we were kids in the 80s, so
Yeah.
the 80s action film.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mm.
so, yeah.
the muscle guys.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Why do you think it went viral? What did it tap into? What was the feeling?
That's now where we get into philosophizing.
There's so
About
many,
archetypes.
so many theories that could be played. I guess the most common one is nostalgia.
Yeah,
Like, that was just right at the time for some reason.
Yeah.
Because it basically spoke to a whole generation of our generation, kind of.
Yeah,
age.
but then the funny thing is that it spoke to a lot of generations because each generation had their own version of, because
Yeah.
ours wasn't Shaft, even though
Yeah.
when
Ours was
in the
Rambo.
video
Yeah,
ours
ours
was
was
Rambo,
Yeah.
in terms of
Big
thinking about
Brothers.
Makmende. But yeah, exactly. They were even telling us about some things which we had never heard about, like Big Ben. Like
right.
we've
Yeah.
never heard
All
of
the-
Big
all
Ben,
the
but
Yes.
guys-
when they looked at it, yeah, then they said Big Ben, and then other people were saying other stuff. So,
Yeah. So it's a sort of slightly ludicrous action man.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So it depends on when you
The
go.
younger ones, like that was their first introduction to
Of
Makmende.
Makmende, so
it's
Yeah.
So we kind of
it's-
gave them
It's a
a
fresh.
visual of him already.
Yeah.
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 And were you surprised when it went viral globally?
yeah.
And what impact did that have on you?
Wow.
Like we were everywhere. Like in terms of we were literally everywhere. And because if you look at us before that video, it was more of like the art kids, like, and then after that video, it's like everyone is like, "Where's the next thing?" Like my mom knows about this video. My
Oh yeah,
grandma,
suddenly
I go back
we
there.
Yeah.
became respectable.
Well, respectable.
Yeah, noticeable.
Popular. It became popular. didn't
Yes,
it?
yeah.
Came
yeah,
out of
I meant
being-
respectable just in the sense that people all of a sudden
Like our
stopped.
parents.
Stopped worrying about whether we were wasting our lives or not.
If it could get on CNN.
Yeah,
In fact, you should have become doctors and lawyers.
It's like
Yeah, it was on CNN.
Okay, fine. Like, there's even matatus that were named after it.
Oh god.
So it was-
But there was also, I think, a period of just kind of uncertainty, stress, because it
Yeah.
was just so strange,
Yeah.
the whole thing, and
Like it was a little taste of, I guess, real celebrity.
Yeah.
and it kind of
And
scared.
it was kind of scary.
Yeah.
Scary, kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but-
All at once.
But that was like the cool thing. The cool thing I guess about it was that it wasn't on us. Like it would have probably been a bit even more difficult to handle if it was
Yeah.
celebrity
Yeah.
focused on us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more
Which-
focused on the work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on the character as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is a bit like gorillas, isn't it? You've got a kind of
Yeah.
character that you can push forward and,
Yeah.
kind of get people to pay attention to.